Welcome back to another episode of What Are You Made Of with your boy Mike C-Roc. Turning setbacks into rocket fuel, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already to my YouTube channel, Mike C-Roc Ciorrocco, and to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, or whatever that may be. And before we get to our guest today, also go get the Rocket Fuel book. The Rocket Fuel book is going to change your life. I promise you, I will not let you down. It is the book that I've written, telling my stories from the past, things I've learned and things that I've implemented in my life that I've learned from some of my mentors that are some of the most successful people on the planet. And I want to share that with you so that you can learn how to be indestructible and unstoppable. That's Rocket Fuel. And that's found at mikecroc.com/book, mikecroc.com/book. And today we have my friend, Ginger King, in the house. What's up, Ginger?
Hi, Mike. Happy to be here.
Yeah, listen, I'm so glad we finally got together on this, and I want to find out what you're made of. Before we do that, though, give us a little background of who you are, Ginger, where you're from, and what you do.
Sure. I am a cosmetic chemist. I'm originally from Taiwan. I came to America when I was 16. Originally, I want to become a makeup artist, but because of my background, my family actually said, no, you have to go to the college, if not a PhD, at least a master's degree. So I end up with double masters in chemistry and in marketing.
Awesome, awesome. So what is it? A makeup chemist?
Cosmetic, a
Cosmetic?
cosmetic chemist. Yes.
I say
I
makeup, no offense, but like that's
no,
what I said when I was a kid because my mom always used to say, "I'm putting my makeup on."
yeah, I mean, men or women, we actually all use some sort of beauty products. So instead of buying beauty products, I'm the one making the products for you so you can keep you looking fabulous at all times.
Awesome.
Anti-aging.
Now, awesome. Now, so where did you learn? Did you have to take chemistry classes? Did you have to go to college for that, or what does that entail?
Yes, I have a degree in natural product chemistry, but cosmetic science is a very specialized science. Only three schools in the whole United States have it. So when I was in California, there's no cosmetic science degree. So I just get a regular natural product chemistry degree. You do need to have some sort of science background before you can enter this field.
Gotcha. And then where are you located now?
I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey. That's right. Okay, I remember that. Yeah, because I'm in Ocean City, Maryland, by the way, so just south of you. And
Okay.
yeah, so but we've known each other for a while now from all the 10x mentorship programs and the 10x community, which has been such a big impact on my life. You guys have heard me talk about this before, which in a time where I was in need, losing a mentor who was my stepfather, George, and then filling in right behind him came Grant. And then not only Grant, but what comes with Grant is this big, giant community of awesomeness, people that think the same way, that want more out of life, that aren't satisfied and understand abundance is important. So Ginger, I always start the show off. I want to get into what that's meant to you, but I want to first ask you, what are you made of?
I'm made of steel. So it's indestructible. I mean, everybody have setback, have like nobody's born with a silver spoon, but it's how you just keep moving.
Yep, yep. And so how do you think that you became unstoppable and indestructible?
Uh, I actually, when I was born, my father passed away when I was a 3-month-old baby due to air crash. So I was raised by a single mom. And therefore, going to school, having a good degree, everything is very important because that's in general how you become successful because you need to have all those corporate jobs. So I did that all the way till 10 years ago. So I guess this is really not enough for me. I'm in this world for a bigger purpose. So I jumped out of the corporate 500 companies and started my own company. I started to create beauty brands for other people. I do cosmetic product development from concept to launch. So everyone can fulfill their dream. And just earlier this year, I also launched my own brand.
Oh, what's that called?
It's Fan Love Beauty.
Fan
And
Love Beauty?
Yes, and the mission for Fanlab Beauty is I create beauty products for people who inspire, educate, or entertain the society, and those aspire to be them. I want it to be a different beauty brand. It's aspirational rather than just any other products on the market because this world doesn't need another beauty brand. It's
Right.
confusing enough.
Right. I love it. I love it. So I understand how that works. Now so for example, if I wanted to create a men's facial cream or a toner or something like that, the C-Roc thing, or Rocket Fuel for Men or something like that, that's something that you help guys or gals do, right?
Yes,
Gotcha. How about perfumes? Perfumes as well and
yes.
colognes?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. What don't you do that would be in cosmetics?
I don't do hair color, anything that's reactive
I'm not
because
worried
it's
about
a
that. I'm not worried about that.
yeah, so everything else I do.
Okay, awesome. So let's go back to the family. Your father passed away, plane crash, you said, when you were very, very
Three
young.
months old, I have never seen him.
Right. And so and how many children were in the family?
I'm the only child.
Okay, you're the only
Yeah.
child. Okay, so growing up, what was life growing up, and how long were you in Taiwan?
16 years.
Okay, so until you were 16. So what was life like in Taiwan? I've never been there.
It's very rigid. I mean, you go to school you cannot wear any makeup. And this is probably why I developed such fascination when I came to America. It's like, wow, makeup changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always tell my wife she looks beautiful better looking without makeup on. And I'm not just saying that either. I really feel that way. But no, I get it. I've seen the difference between some women that have makeup on and then when they don't, and you're like, wait, I don't even recognize you. But no, it's a good thing. But it's also very important to take care of your skin. I don't know if you know this, but I've been getting facials for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, and I never knew what I was missing. I always, heard women getting facials and, thought it was like just a thing for them to relax or for makeup kind of cosmetics or what have you. But when I went there for the first time and I got a scrub and an exfoliator and steam and then a head massage and all that, man, I was like, what did I miss all of my life? And so, I believe in taking care of your skin. That's, the skin is the biggest organ in the body, right?
Yes, And I
So,
always say you wouldn't go out with a wrinkled shirt while a wrinkled face.
right. And so it's not just about makeup as far as color or design in your face, your eyeliner and all what have you, but it's also for health,
Hmm.
right? So
Yes.
how does health play a part in what you do?
Health. Health
Yeah.
is everything because without health, you cannot really achieve your dream. As my other mentor, Damon John, always says, a healthy person can have 1,000 dreams. A sick person can only have one, is to get well. So when I develop product, I make sure I use the best ingredients possible. It's the healthiest ingredients possible. So for the Fanlab Beauty, I actually developed the best lip balm because lip balm can be ingested. No matter if you're a man or woman, everybody can use a lip balm. So all the ingredients I use are like superfoods like mango, avocado, coconut. Those are good for you ingredients. Flaxseed, full of omega-3 and 6. So it's the healthiest ingredients for you. And I also put in the clinical levels of sea asparagus that is known to boost hydration by 6,000%. So health is very important. And as we all know from Grant Cardone, health is wealth.
Absolutely. No, 100%, man. And I'm just so proud of you from, what I've seen and when I first met you too, and how you've advanced and what you're involved with and how you've got connected with your mentors. And, can you speak on that a little bit when you've gotten mentors in your life and people that you wanted to follow and learn from? What was the process like for you and what did you do to get closer to them? Because we all know proximity is power, right? And being around those people and immersing their content and being around them allows you to learn more and grow more. So what was that process like for you?
I will only consider two people to be my mentors. They could be distant mentors, and my two mentors are Damon Jung and Grant Cardone. So with Damon Jung, I actually met him through social media. I know him when Shark Tank started tweeting, and I tweeted back to him every single time, and I got his attention. So there was one time that he actually emailed me, said he's gonna be at some sort of show taping. It's called The Crowd Goes Wild. So he invited me to the show. So I went there, and I couldn't even get close to him because of the security guard all over. So I tweeted him. I said like, "Well, you asked me to come. I'm here." So he actually got a security guard to get me and took a photo with him. That was about 7, 8 years ago, pre-Halloween. And that was the very first time I met him in person. But before that, I have already been tweeting him for about 2 years. So I do know him since the beginning of Shark Tank until now. So we are friends now because I always supported him.
And have you done anything with him besides learn from him, as far as business or what have you?
The reason why I have Fan Love Beauty was because it's inspired by him. There was one time when I was with him, he took out a lip balm and used in front of me. I was like, Damon, if it's something that close to you, that's in your pocket, on your lips, it has to be mine. And I look at what he was using. I was like, no, 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 no. I have to give you the very best. So there are a lot of differences between my lip balms and others on the market. My lip balm has no petrolatum. Petrolatum is from the petrochemicals that belongs to the gas station, not to your lips. Mine doesn't have lanolin, which is an animal byproduct from the sheep, which when you use long term, you're gonna develop allergic reaction. And some people say, well, I use all natural lip balm. Think again, if your natural lip balm has beeswax, which is 95% of the case, how do you get beeswax? You get the beeswax from the beehives. That's where bees live. So it's not cruelty free. You cannot call yourself vegan. My lip balm has no beeswax. It contains mango butter. And every single ingredient I use have a meaning behind it. The reason why I use mango is because mango is known to treat depression. And I have a social cause with my brand because it's dedicated to people who have contribution to the society. And unfortunately, a lot of those people, they go down the path of suicide due to depression. If people like Robin Williams, like Kate Spade, if they could have stayed longer, they will have even more contribution to the society. And this is the reason why every single ingredient I use have a meaning behind it. This is not your ordinary lip balm. This is a life-saving lip balm because it saves your health with all the best ingredients and the most efficacious ingredient. When you purchase my lip balm, I also donate 10% of the proceeds to the Suicide Prevention Foundation.
That means a lot to me because I don't know if you know part of my story. I've grew up around a lot of broken people, and my grandmother in particular committed suicide once I guess I was around, I don't know, somewhere between 19 to 20 years old, somewhere in that range. And for years, she had the most beautiful voice. She could sing. And for years, I tried to like help her when I was around as much as possible before I went to college. And when I went off to college, after being able to help her, she used to tell me all the time, Mike, they used to call me Mikey back in the day. Mikey, you know, you help me so much. You know, you make me feel better anytime you're around and talking to me. And I used to just not take any of her bullcrap. Like the voices that go on in our heads, we give validity to the wrong ones too many times. And so many people give in to the wrong voices. And now I'm not talking about schizophrenia, but we all have a voice in our head, right? Or two or three. And we do give too much power to the wrong ones. And I would just not buy her bullcrap that was coming from that wrong voice. And I would call her out on it and it would help her. But at the end of the day, I had to go to college at some point, and when I left, I felt like I wasn't there enough, and you know, I felt like something here that I know I didn't cause it, or you know, but it means a lot to me, Ginger, that you're doing that, and you know, I don't like to see anybody feeling that way, let alone end it, you know, and but no, very 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 great cause. And now when you're right now, while we're on the topic of the lip balm, how can people get that?
Oh, they can get it from my website, fanlovebeauty.com.
Fanlovebeauty.com, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fanlovebeauty.com. We'll put that in the show notes and make sure that you guys support Ginger. Now, Ginger, what makes you so in love with the 10X movement? Because I see you at everything. I know you're a fan and a mentee of Grant's. And just give me a little bit of background on how you got involved with 10X Grant and why are you such a like stone cold 10xer?
Okay, how I got to know Grant was actually through Damon's book. Damon has a book called Rise and Grind. He was profiled in Damon's book. And I went to the GrowthCon 3 years ago in Las Vegas. And at the time, that was Damon's 49th year birthday. It was on his birthday. Damon was actually one of the guest speaker. So I remember when Grant's people called me, it's like, what made you decide to come to GrowthCon? I was like, I come to GrowthCon wasn't because of Grant Cardone. I come because of Damon Zhang. It's Damon Zhang's birthday. So, and then that was, I got numerous emails from Grant. At the time, I didn't like him, because if you don't know him, some of his style can be a little bit pushy. So I still didn't like him until I attended GrowthCon. I was like, this guy's got something. And then I enrolled in Cardone University, and I was like, wow, everything he taught is so practical. And he really like adjusted my attitude toward money, the mindset, and everything that we were taught in school was like, we never learned anything like that. And it's really just really opening my eyes. As mentioned, I have 2 master's degree, but you know what? None of the stuff I learned from Grant was taught in school.
Right.
So that was really eye-opening. And I actually appreciate that I have 2 mentors, and I'm not going to have like multiple mentors because Grant said it can be confusing. But what I love about Damon is Damon gave me a good foundation. He is very approachable. He's very he knows emotional branding very well. And he gave me the foundation for branding, and Grant is really helping in terms of the how do you do sales, how do you do follow up, how do you do prospecting. Those are like very very critical elements for success. So sometimes there were like a contradiction between Damon's teaching and Grant's, but I'm okay because I need to see from both sides and make a decision myself. I can be a hybrid. I can be a hybrid between both of them, and I think those two complements each other very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as like if you look at all the different industries and verticals of business, people make money several different ways. But yeah, you pick and choose, and not everybody does things the same way. So I love that because sometimes you can sprinkle a little Grant Cardone and a little bit of Damon or whoever, sprinkle a little bit of them together, and as long as the main point of things do not contradict, then you roll with it. But so when you left the corporate world, Ginger, and went out and started being an entrepreneur, start your own thing, can you speak to that a little bit as well for people that are thinking about possibly doing that, following the passion of something that they want to do and having a bigger impact as far as money? I mean, how did you pay your bills, and what planning went into that, and how speak of that process a little bit?
Okay, it was a decision that before I started my consulting company, that's when I started to become an entrepreneur. I actually co-started a skincare brand with another person. And consulting is really to use to pay for my bills, because starting a brand, it can be blood sucking. You have to have the tolerance for keep bleeding out your money because you never know how it's gonna go. So I started consulting alongside. So it's like, it wasn't really just like all in. I have to keep my consulting to pay the bills. And it just turns out like I have better business in consulting than building the brand with another partner. And that partner actually left me about 2 years ago. So I stopped that skincare brand, and I actually did not think I would come up with another beauty brand myself, just because we all know you cannot do this alone. I'm still a solopreneur, but because I've been in the industry long enough, I do have the credibility, I do have the expertise. So getting consulting clients is a way easier for me as a business to business rather than business to consumers. This is a little bit newer for me actually. And this is why I depending on Grant Cardone's team on the expertise to help me to grow and scale.
And what goes into, like, let's just say I was wanting to do men's skincare products or something to that effect, or men's products in general. What goes into that as far as time and investment when somebody works with you?
Okay, to do a proper branding, like have a line, you really need to allow at least 9 months. It's like having a baby. So for the first 3 months, it's like you need to have the concept, the packaging, everything like a planning stage. And the second trimester is really to, formulation, to product testing. And the third trimester is you need to do scale up. Just like a business scale up, you also need to do your product scale up, because you coming from a single batch or multiple small batches in the lab. You need to make sure it's reproducible in a industrial setting. So you need to do scale up, and you need to do a lot of PR to push your brand out. So from beginning to the end, you need to estimate for 9 months. And among the 9 months, you have about 3 months of time doing a lot of testing, because cosmetic is not like food. Food, you eat it and it goes to your tummy. The worst comes in is you got a diarrhea. you know, Cosmetics, you have to make sure even after opening, you can last for at least a year. There's no microbial growth, so you need to do micro challenge testing because you dip your fingers in. And also you need to make sure an opened products, you need to have 3 years of shelf life, because you will have to carry inventory, because the minimum buys for contract manufacturer is anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 pieces. So your products must have 3 years of shelf life.
And so one thing I was asking about this, how can you monetize ahead of time possibly? You know how Grant always talks about idea, market it, right? And
Yes.
convert to get money in and then go from there. Is there a possible way to do that with cosmetics?
For cosmetics, it's harder unless you do private label. Private label meaning you just buy other people's product and put your own label, then it's possible. But for a brand new customized formulation, it's harder to do that.
Why would somebody not do the private label thing and go through all of starting something totally brand new? Um,
Because if it's private label, there isn't any uniqueness to it.
okay,
It's really depending on how you market it. I'm actually looking at some private label products right now for my line as well. The reason is, even though I know how to do formulation, even though I have a lot of connections in the industry, the manufacturing cost is very, very high right now.
right,
Because I'm about to launch another new product. I'm negotiating so hard with the manufacturer to see how I can bring the minimums down, because 5,000 pieces is still very high. Typically, people want 10,000 pieces, but because
right.
of my relationship, I can do 5,000 pieces. But 5,000 pieces for a startup, it's like you're looking at $20,000-$30,000 per SKU. While you do private label, your initial cost can be as low as 5,000 pieces. But there are issues because, especially these days, people want the clean products. They want to be able to go to certain retailers. There's a lot of restricted ingredients. When you buy private label, you cannot say, "Oh, I don't want this ingredient in there. I don't want that ingredient in there." So it's just like it's harder.
Now, okay, so I got it. I got it. I got it. That makes sense to me now. So let me ask this as we wrap up the show here. I want to go back to your story and what you're made of for a second. And not having a dad in your life, like how do you think that you've adapted without that? Because you didn't know any different. But what did you do to fill in the gaps? You think as a father, not having a father figure there to be there for you in a traditional family setting? Did you like I don't know? What did you do to fill the gaps?
Library, books. I'm a bookworm. I mean, as I consider myself a serial learner, and this is also why you see me show up in all the 10x things. I love to learn. It's like if money is no object, I have no problem like just soaking up everything. It fulfills me. And
Yeah,
sometimes I feel bad. It's like I should be really able to practice whatever I learn. But sometimes it's like if you, like what Grant said, if you don't do role plays, if you don't really have a team, it's harder to practice. But I love learning. I'm a serial learner.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
career student. I love to learn. I actually have over 30 certifications, even after my master's degree. It's just like
Wow.
learning is like my best friend, because, when you talk to people, if unless that you are on the same level of mindset, which only found in the 10X community, It's very hard because especially when you grow up, people are all kind of immature. You know, you don't know what
Yeah.
you want in life. So I turn to books.
Yeah, I love it, man. And you know, the thing about this is I was talking to one of my buddies, who's one of my partners the other day, and I said, you know, as long as I continue to learn, and I recommend that he did and all of our team does, people will continue to come to you. And you have that gives you power.
Hmm.
They say knowledge is power. I mean, that's an old cliche, right? Now knowledge is power, but it really is. And if you think about it, like in the old days, in a tribe somewhere, or still to this day where there's tribes, there's a wise person. And that wise person generally is the leader of the group.
Hmm.
So the more you know and the more you can gather, the more elevation and altitude that you get to be able to lead people. You can't lead people without gaining knowledge and continuously gaining knowledge and being a sponge to it. And I'm on that train too. I mean, I've relied so much on books, street smarts for so long, and eventually street smarts you hit a ceiling, and at some point you're like, okay, I can't get any further. What do I need to do now? And then you got to turn into the knowledge seeking and being a sponge. Now, if you start with knowledge though, and if you start with just books and you have no street smarts and no hustle, because that's I think street smarts comes with the hustle and the action, then that's a problem too. Wouldn't you agree?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So where do you get your go get itness from?
Where do I go get my what?
It's not even a word, but go get itness.
Go
Like
get this.
yeah, like your go get itness. Like I make up words by the way. I
Oh.
have my own language. It's C-Roc-isms.
So it's like
Your
failure
drive,
is
your
not an
drive, in other
option.
words.
Failure is not an option. I mean, it's like I kept thinking I didn't come this far to get this far. So I do want to be successful. I do need to make my family proud of me, which is just my mom. It's my single mom. And well, I am married, but there are other things like going on. So I do want to make a difference. And this is the reason why I push on my brand and to be an aspirational brand.
And so to end the show here, Ginger, what is one setback that you can think of? It could have been a negative person, a setback, a letdown. What is one thing that's happened in your past that you still refer back to just for fuel to say, hey man, I remember that. No, this is I'm using this for fuel. Can you think of something?
Well, I did mention that. Remember, I wanted to become a makeup artist. I actually applied for cosmetology school, and when they called, my uncle picked up the phone and say, "No, there's no such person." So I didn't. That stopped me. So it's like, okay, you guys want me to be like a white collar person, a corporate person. I study chemistry. I'll become a cosmetic chemist. It's a science degree. It's something noble that you guys will be proud.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, I don't know if you know this either. As we wind out here, I want to start a clothing brand. Like I have these shirts and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like some kind of. I love Hugo Boss t-shirts. I love their clothing, and then I wear a lot of Under Armour and Nike. I want to get something maybe combined together with that and start it because I think clothing brands, just like Damon's clothing brand, had a story behind it,
Yes.
right? An inspiring thing. And so for us, Bias Fubu has a meaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that What Are You Made Of and Rocket Fuel have meanings, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think the story behind it could be very successful. But not only that, the taking it a step further and really going after even designer clothes and being involved in that kind of thing is something that appeals to me. And it's one of the things like I have no idea where to start with. So I'm gonna have to talk to Damon probably and reach out to him. But anyway, Ginger, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your friendship and your support of the What Are You Made Of movement. I appreciate you so much. And is there best way for people to reach out to you and connect with you besides your website? Like, are you on any social
You
media?
can do through my Instagram, the Beauty Shark Ginger.
The Beauty Shark Ginger on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. Guys, go follow her, give her some love, hit her up in the DMs, let her know that you heard her on the What Are You Made Of show with your boy C-Roc. Ginger, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And guys, you've been listening to the What Are You Made Of show with your boy C-Roc. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Remember, we turn all setbacks, letdowns, difficulties, and negative people into rocket fuel for our future. Go get the Rocket Fuel book. Again, I will not let you down. I promise it'll change your life. MikeCroc.com/book. MikeCroc.com/book. Until next time, be good.